And good morning, everybody. I got an echo in my ear. I'm taking these off. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Star Wars Fanatic. Thank you for joining me on this Saturday live stream. If you're new here, please go on and hit that subscribe button. And if you don't want to, then don't do it. Whatever. I don't care. So, it's been a long week, long couple weeks. I didn't have a live stream last week due to having my grandson over. I might schedule it where I do live streams every other Saturday instead of every Saturday. Let you guys have your Saturdays free to do stuff with your families and friends and stuff like that. It's hard to come up with topics for every single Saturday. Not really, but it does stretch it a little thin. Hey, DR, good to see you. Blaze Cap, Dawn. Let's see, who else we got in here? Knut. And I saw some other people a minute ago. Unaligned Force users, Patrick Dubé, Ward. And I think I got about everybody that's commenting. So, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. As you can see, I changed my camera angle so my big fat face isn't covering up the tiny camera the whole time. Hey, Robin. All right, yeah, so I did get a comment that one of my subscribers doesn't look at the camera or the phone or the screen for a minute while I'm doing my intro because my big fat face takes up the whole thing. And I understand that. I appreciate that criticism and feedback. So I have moved my camera angle a little bit to further it away from me. And Dakar, good to see you. And just looking at seeing all who's here right now. Yeah, so looks like first thing I'm going to talk about is this week of the Book of Boba Fett. This episode that I have not seen many criticisms at all about. People are still saying the show's trash and it's slow, but they're not criticizing this episode in particular. A lot of people are saying, yeah, it was a good episode, but the rest of them suck. So, whatever. This episode was amazing. I couldn't really find anything I didn't like about it other than the bantha moving so slow going through the desert. I mean, it had to take a year to get from Mos Eisley to Mos Espa. I haven't seen the new Lego game trailer yet. I do know they have created a release date for it. But, as I've been saying, that this series is going to start off slow and build up. I said this probably for a long time. I said this is going to be a different kind of series because I was listening to the interviews with Tamir Morrison and Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni and Robert Rodriguez. Everybody saying it's a different kind of series. It's not going to be The Mandalorian. They said that from the get-go. From the time they started writing it, they started saying it. It's building up. In the end, everybody's going to say, this is the most amazing series ever. Till Obi-Wan comes out, and then they're like, this is the most amazing series ever. Just like they did with The Mandalorian. This is the most amazing series ever. But while The Mandalorian was going on, people were complaining that there were too many filler episodes, or Grogu was committing genocide by eating Frog Lady's eggs. And yeah, you can't make everybody happy. Yeah, well, they are not so much like a movie, but like a series of novels. They're not going to give away everything in the first novel. You're going to get bits and pieces. It's going to look slow. But I'm trying to find this comment that somebody put on Instagram on officially Star Wars' Instagram account, where somebody said, this is slow, the show sucks and everything, and hang on, I think I might have found it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, it'll take me a minute to find the actual comment. There's hundreds of comments in there, so don't let me waste your time with that. Yeah, filler is an overused term, Blaze Cap. It's just one way of somebody just putting a red herring out there for an episode they don't agree with. That's all it is. I mean, there were episodes of The Mandalorian where I thought, okay, this is dragging on too long for this storyline. But then I had to remember these are serials. These are weekly serials with weekly adventures, and they're different. They're all going to be different. And at the end of the serial, it combines with the rest of the thing. It combines with the rest of the story. Yeah, so there were some things I wanted to talk about today. Like the thumbnail says, if y'all haven't noticed, my thumbnail game has increased 100-fold. Because, let me go into that before I go into whatever else I'm going to talk about. First, on the line, Force user says people will hate. I don't know why it's a great. I don't know why it's a great show so far. Sucks for them, their loss. Absolutely, it is their loss. And Cooper Cherney, good to see you. And yeah, it is. But so what it is, I've had Photoshop for about a year now. I had it way back in the past. I used to do 1/6 scale models and sell them online and that kind of thing. And I used Photoshop back then to tweak the pictures that I'd take and make them look realistic. For action figures, they looked like real people. But that was way back in like 2002, 2003, and Photoshop was simple. Now this time when I got Photoshop a year ago, I opened the app on my computer and I was like, what the hell do I do with this? I had no clue where to even start. I started pulling pictures in and trying to do stuff, and it just wasn't adding up. Good one, DR. But I was like, I don't even know where to begin, and I'm overwhelmed and confused because I'm a simple man. You know, I get overwhelmed pretty easy, and you take me to the store to buy a pair of pants, and it takes me like 15 minutes, and I'll wind up getting something I don't want because I'm overwhelmed, and I just pick something and run. So I'm looking at Photoshop, and I'm like, ugh, I don't even know what to do. And then all these YouTube gurus who, if you have a YouTube channel, don't listen to these people. The only things they say that are right are get your thumbnails in order, get your titles in order. That's about the only thing they say that's right. I'll get into that a little bit later as well. But I did get on YouTube and started looking up how people make good thumbnails because my thumbnails sucked. I can't get people to watch my videos because my thumbnails are so bad. So I started looking at it. I was like, oh, I want to do glowy letters. I want to see what glowy letters look like. Let's try that. So I YouTubed that, and there was like 100 steps just to make your letters glow. And I was like, good Lord. I started getting overwhelmed, but then I was like, all right, there has to be a simpler way. So I go back and watch another guy who has 2 steps to make glowy letters, or 3 steps. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I start making the glowy letters and everything, and I'm like, I could probably refine this to 2 steps. So I did, and I figured it out. And then I figured out how to put glow behind people. I figured out how to blend pictures together and make them look like a collage rather than just slapped in there. And now my thumbnails look a little bit better. I think they look a little bit better. Maybe they're a little more clickable now or grab attention or whatever. I'm not trying to create clickbait. I just want to make them presentable, make it look professional. So let me look at a couple of your comments. And good morning, Sydney. See if anybody else I missed. I did say hey to Robin a little bit ago. Zen, hello. Yeah, they don't create with Mr. Action Man thumbnails right now, or compete with them, yeah. And yeah, so Biggs Darklighter, aka Robin, says genocide is a little much. I'd say he's a little worse than Anakin in episode 3 if one constrains himself about the time he killed the younglings. True, but also how much genocide are we creating by eating chicken eggs or ostrich eggs or whatever eggs you guys eat? I don't eat eggs, so it doesn't matter. A little known fact that about me is that I get my protein from vegetables now. I don't eat much meat, if any, and I don't eat eggs. And I'm currently getting away from dairy as well. Not because saving the world, saving the chickens, or saving the cows, that's part of it, but also because I had a real bad bill of health on my last physical. So trying to change my habits and become a little better. What if Book of Boba pulls a Bad Batch? I don't understand what you mean by that, DR. The episodes aren't long enough. 45 minutes later, there's too much filler. Good one, Don. Remember at the end of Bad Batch, episode 6, everyone thought the hologram was Ahsoka. Instead, it was Red. Rex. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that, we hear the Mando theme at the end of the last episode of Book of Boba Fett. That doesn't mean it's going to be Din Djarin showing up. It could be any number of people. It could even be like Migs Mayfeld or Cara Dune or Peli Motto. She's been teased already. She's been shown in the background. Absolutely, Don, you're correct. But, everybody's jumping on this speculation wagon that it's going to be Mando showing up. And how many people are going to be disappointed if it's not him? I'm not saying it won't be him. About 90% certain that he'll be in the mix of people to show up. But what if it's not? So I'm keeping my mind open and saying, okay, maybe it's not him. And I'm just preparing myself for that. Tusken dream with a back to tank. Sometimes I do those red circle things and point at stuff, but that stuff I do include in the video. It's not some obligatory picture with a circle around it that has nothing to do with the video at all. Usually I am pointing to something that is going to be in the video, and it's hard to have a picture tell you everything that's going to be in the video because it's just a picture. So using that helps me to, say, hey, this is in the video. And I don't do it a lot. I do it once in a while. Favorite Book of Boba episode so far has to be, it's a toss-up between the second episode and the fourth episode. The second episode, I loved all the stuff with the Tuskens and the Pikes. And I made a speculation then that the Tuskens were going to get killed. And sadly, I was right on that. And then the fourth episode, we saw so much more. We're going to see BK coming in more. And by the way, he's my favorite Wookiee now. I love Chrysanthemum. He's just awesome. He's smaller than an average Wookiee, as in height, but he's got more attitude just in his face than any other one I've seen. Still waiting for the Ghost Demi Moore female Tusken Boba Fett scene. Yeah, I didn't see the female among the dead, so I'm hoping she shows up. And I'm thinking Tusken human or Tusken anybody relations is going to change a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. Force users. BK not being friendly with the Trandoshans, that really, those guys probably didn't even do anything to him, but because they were Trandoshans, they're Wookiee hunters and enslavers and gladiator arena people, then yeah. The Mando's theme that came at the end of the last episode of the Book of Boba Fett, what if that's Migs Mayfeld? Or maybe Fennec Shand knows Migs because they both ran with criminal circles for a while and could have very easily popped up into each other's lives at one point or another. And now she knows where he is back on, I forget the name of the planet now. There's so many planet names that are new that I just can't keep my head on. Yeah, so what if it's Mayfeld? What if it's Cobb Vanth because he's on Tatooine? What if it's both? If there's no body, they aren't dead. That's right, because I think it was Commander Cody that made that mistake with Obi-Wan. Didn't go after the body. Nobody could have survived that fall. But, and that's another thing that's killing me is people are saying Boba Fett's not badass enough. Boba Fett's not badass enough. Come on, how much do you want? You want John Wick or do you want a story? I like John Wick for what it is. It's an action show with finger breaking, pencil killing, and that kind of stuff. But the story doesn't really intrigue me in John Wick. Yeah, it's sad he lost his puppy and his girl in his car, but he's went on a 4-year killing spree over it after he'd already killed everybody that was involved with it. What if Boba throws together his own guild house, kind of like Jessler Celatori did in Legends. Just collecting the creme de la creme of bounty hunters. Yeah, that would be cool too. But I don't know if Boba Fett's into that lifestyle really. I don't know if he's wanting bounty hunters to go searching. Maybe he's wanting soldiers, but I don't know if he's wanting bounty hunters to pay to go out and kill people, because that's one of the things he complained about. Yeah, Knut, I loved your theory you posted. Seriously, everybody, when you have theories and thoughts and speculations and stuff, and even if you don't, I encourage everybody to make their own channel. DR did it, and he's becoming successful. He's got more subscribers than I do now, and that's awesome. Congratulations, buddy. We do totally different things, and we can support each other in that. It's not a huge deal, but I encourage everybody to do that. Just make your own channel. There's all kinds of people out there looking for it, and you'll probably be more successful than me, because apparently I'm too old to talk about Star Wars or talk about Star Wars on YouTube or something. I don't care. That guy was an idiot. Galen Merrick made that mistake as well with General Ram Kota. Yes, he did. Absolutely, Robin. Cad Bane. I'd love to see Cad Bane live action. To me, if there's a score to be settled, it's Cad Bane and Boba Fett, because they're both still alive. One's got a metal plate in his head and may want to avenge that and, go crazy with it. Yeah, absolutely, Robin. DR's a meme channel and I'm a content channel. It's just different. We're different, but I mean, I'm trying to get away from doing the shorts as much as possible, because they aren't really getting me anywhere other than, a subscriber here or there, and it's really just a waste of time. No, DR, you got more, I think. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, you're ahead of me by almost 100. So, that's awesome. I know, Knut. I was just making a joke because of that one comment that triggered me. And I did react to it at first. And then after that, I was just like, you know what? He's not even worth it. There's another guy I'm arguing with right now. He just keeps popping up, making comments, negative comments. And this last one, let me see exactly what I told him. I guess it's gone. I know I'm spending a lot of time doing this crap. Sorry, guys. Alright, so they complained about the scooters again, and that's fine. I get it. People don't like the scooters, and to me, that really, at first it was kind of like, hey, what's that? What's going on? But then after a while, I was like, oh, so what? Who cares? And the reason I don't care is because it was a 38-minute episode, and the scooter chase took up 1 minute and 37 seconds. There's 26 minutes, or 36 minutes and 23 seconds of other content in that episode that was positive. That was great. I mean, we got a Rancor, we got Machete, we got Milton owning water stands, we got BK, we got all kinds of stuff, and people were focused on the 1 minute and 37 seconds that was a little subpar. And this guy commented again about it, and I said, yay, you're back. We all use headcanon to make sense of things, but tell me this, how long did it take you to text all that? Because it was a rather long comment that he made. I said, I bet it was longer than 2 minutes, which is the entirety of the time the scooters were on the screen. I haven't seen you say one thing about the positives of the show. The Rancor, BK, Trandoshans actually looking like Trandoshans. Instead, you want to hate on 2 minutes of a 38-minute episode. I've said it before. You don't have to watch it, nor me. And if that's all you're going to do is make bad comments and try to start arguments, I'd appreciate it if you didn't watch me. We all have gripes about one thing or another in Star Wars, but it doesn't take up the bulk of my own viewing. There are plenty of other channels who will indulge you and even agree with you. All right. Absolutely, Force users. I wanted to hand him a red swingline stapler. Um, hey, John, good to see you. So, yeah, that's how I'm handling these people now. I'm just telling them, look, you don't have to watch me. You don't have to watch Star Wars. You can just go away. Go enjoy what you enjoy and stop hating on everything. Um, who wasn't greeted? Hey, Boba, good to see you. And I saw John and the other Boba Fett. There's two Boba Fetts. The best bounty hunter and just Boba Fett. Left for Dead on the sands of Tatooine. I am Boba Fett. Yeah, that's one thing that killed me in the last episode. I didn't think it was a bad part of the episode. I just thought it was weird where he had that little uh, rat catcher droid by the neck holding it up and said, "Do you know who I am? I am Boba Fett." Like a rat catcher droid really cares who you are. Is he going to tell everybody that? He's going to come up to a stranger on the street. Hey, do you know who I am? I'm Boba Fett. Oh, yeah. Let me see what I can see. Hey, Mark, good to see you. Thank you for joining. People are focusing on just the bikes. They're looking for reasons just not to like it. Absolutely. That's all they're doing. Yeah, that's all they're doing. They're just looking for things to hate on it. And there's a lot more people in these Facebook groups that are calling them out for it. And I'm loving it because it should be done. I'm not saying start fights or anything. I'm saying challenge them. Challenge them on why they hate something. Um, yeah, absolutely, DR. See the new Legos? No, I haven't seen the new Lego Star Wars trailer yet. Um, right now, I'm trying not to get my hopes up on buying anything because I really don't have any money. So, yeah. Yeah, so people are just complaining to be complaining at this point. And one of those is how the Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian are so different. Well, I've already made a video about the constructs of how they're different, how they're made to be different, one being a serial and one being a solid story, just moving straight into one scene to another. But also at the same time, the action differences in the shows, there really isn't that much action difference. But if you want to say there is, the Mandalorian, Din Djarin, had to make himself established as soon as he entered the scene. We had to know who he was right away because he's a new character. We'd never seen him before. He had to establish his presence and show who he is, and then that's how we got to know him. Boba Fett, on the other hand, is a character that we've known for 40 plus years. He's someone that we've all built up these speculations in our head of what should happen. I'm myself included. I even made a video what we need to see in the Book of Boba Fett, but I wasn't upset when some of that stuff didn't happen, and I won't be upset if it doesn't happen throughout the series. It's fine. Um, so Boba Fett doesn't need the action to show he's the best bounty hunter in the galaxy or to show that he's a badass. We already know he's a badass. We've got comics, we've got a movie, we've got legends stories, we've got all this stuff that shows he's a badass. We know he's a badass. We don't need more to say he's a badass. We don't need to see it constantly. I mean, it reminds me of that Monty Python scene where Lancelot's running up toward Castle Anthrax, and this is what people want to see. They want to see him just charging in, the music blaring, and then killing everybody in sight. And that's what they want. They want this guy that they built up as this god, and he's overpowered. And I admit, in the legend stories, he is an overpowered god, and now he's human, and people don't like it. So yes, same with Blaze Cap. I'm trusting they're going to make the story good, and they are making the story good. It's believable, not believable as in the science fiction part of it, but believable as in his human nature. We're seeing an inside of Boba Fett that we have never seen before. We're seeing him as a person, a human, a character. And Din Djarin, we saw a little bit of that with his fatherly figure to Grogu and that kind of thing, but I think we need to get more into his motivations for what got him on the path that he's on. I know the path that he's ending up as holding the Darksaber and giving Grogu to Luke and all that. We know the motivation for that. But what got him to the point where he is? And we haven't seen enough of that. We haven't seen enough of his internal struggles with that. Hey, Brick Maniac, good to see you. Arcflow, good to see you. Should not be compared to an RPG game that is nonstop. Absolutely, Don, and that's what games are for. Video games are there to keep you entertained and keep you moving and keep you killing and shooting and all that with minimal story. And that's okay, because I love video games just as much as I like TV series. But I go into a TV series looking at it like a series of novels. It's different writers, it's different styles, it's different genres, it's different things that they pulled as inspiration for that. And it's going to take some time to build the story up to the climax. Normally a story goes beginning, climax, exit. And the climax is usually near the end, and then it winds down at the end. So the climax isn't even here yet. We just got a little over halfway through. And I need to quit saying the word climax. Yeah, Blazecap, he is. He's down to earth. He showed his motivations as to why he doesn't want to be a bounty hunter or kill anymore. So, going back to what I was saying about expectations in Star Wars, how we all have our own expectations, and are we going into these shows and movies with too much expectation? And I say yes to a lot of people. A lot of people are going in with too many expectations. But I've been doing some research lately, and what I've found is there are a lot more people that like the new Star Wars stuff coming out since the Disney era than people that hate it. If you look at different Facebook posts, you'll see more thumbs up, hearts, and little caring, huggy heart things than you will angry faces or sad faces. In my comment section, you'll see more positivity than you will negativity. And other positive YouTube channels, such as Star Wars Meg or Star Wars Coffee, you see more positivity than negativity. Now, the YouTubers that stick with the negative feedback and stick with the negativity to get views, yeah, you're going to see more negativity because they draw that kind of crowd. That's funny, Knut. Yeah, it makes me mad too. So I do call those people out for it. Like, and one, a lot of people now are posting in these Facebook groups saying, I don't know why you guys hate all of Star Wars, and if you do, why do you keep attacking people who hate it? And that's a good point. And somebody will comment, well, my Luke Skywalker doesn't drink from the teat of another animal. So I went on for like 2 hours going back and forth with this person. I said, so you're letting a 30-second clip ruin 6 hours of Star Wars for you. That's what you don't like. And, oh, well, Luke Skywalker would have never done this or that or been this way. I said, if you watch the original trilogy, Luke Skywalker absolutely would have been like that. George Lucas made Luke Skywalker and every other Jedi fallible. He made them with fault, with hubris, with emotion, with real human qualities of internal struggles and their psyches and all that stuff. Made everything believable in Luke Skywalker. So what people are basing Luke Skywalker off of isn't the original trilogy. Sure, the original trilogy, he did all that stuff and everybody acknowledges that, but then the legend stories made Luke Skywalker this overpowered god, that he could do no wrong, he was perfect, and he wasn't human. He was a god, like I said. And that's what the standard people are holding Luke Skywalker to. And to me, what he was portrayed as in The Last Jedi held more true to what Luke Skywalker was. People would say, well, Luke Skywalker would have never turned his back to the Force and he would have never changed sides. Anakin did. Anakin was raised in the Jedi Temple. Count Dooku did. He was raised in the Jedi Temple. What about Quinlan Vos? He did. He was raised in the Jedi Temple. All of them had roughly 16 to 20 years of training. Luke Skywalker had 18 months. Then he was on his own to learn after that. And who's to say he was the best teacher of himself? Obviously, he wasn't, because he fell backward. He didn't go to the dark side, but he did turn his back on the Force. And it made me believe the character of Luke Skywalker a little bit more. Honestly, in Legends, I hated Luke Skywalker. I thought, is this dude going to carry plot armor for the whole time? Is this dude never going to have a problem? Sure, he had little external problems and stuff, but, I mean, even in the new comics, they're making Luke Skywalker complete to the original trilogy. He's whiny, he's a little bit of a pud, and you just want to slap the crap out of him. All right, so that's what I've been talking to people on Facebook about. I'm like, look, if Luke Skywalker is your issue with the entire trilogy, or how the original characters were treated, you got to remember the interviews that came out before The Force Awakens released, where J.J. Abrams, Mark Hamill, Daisy Ridley, the Adam Driver, John Boyega, all of them, everybody came out and said this series is not about the original characters. This series is about the next generation. So there. Yes, John, let's focus on that. That was one of the turning points for Anakin. That was one of the big ones. How the Jedi, being the infallible, perfect beings that they were, turned their back on probably the most Jedi person in the Order. Between Ahsoka and Qui-Gon Jinn, they were the most perfect Jedi. Obi-Wan, he was good. Yeah, I give him that. But he had his moments. He had his moments of weakness, and he had his moments of doubt, and he had his moments of... He was strong, but he was also... I don't know how to explain it. He also wasn't the best Jedi out there. Anyways, yeah, so Ahsoka just got destroyed by the Jedi. The Jedi just didn't care. Even when she left, they're like, oh well, good riddance. And Mace Windu, being the dickhead that he was, this is only for Jedi. See your way out, citizen. Like, screw you, dude. Don't need you anyway. I've been living my life this whole time without you. I'll just go around helping people like the Jedi are supposed to do. I'm not going to jump into galactic politics where Jedi don't belong. I'm not going to jump into a civil war where Jedi don't belong. Absolutely, Knut, and that was my thing too. And I know some of you don't like the sequels, and that's fine. I don't mind. I'm not trying to talk you into liking the sequels. I'm just showing you my mindset, why the sequels worked for me. Yeah, there were some parts that I didn't like so as much as other parts, but it wasn't enough to ruin the whole thing for me. The dialogue, people complain about the dialogue. Somehow Palpatine returned. Well, they forget sand. I hate sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere. The most static line ever made. But Star Wars is riddled with bad dialogue, and it was made that way because it was supposed to be like a space soap opera. You ever watch a soap opera? Dialogue sucks. Dialogue is so stupid, and that's what Star Wars is supposed to be. I might be missing something. Don't know why they went back in Book of Boba. Difference between an actual villain and an antagonist. Absolutely. You like Captain Phasma. Captain Phasma was another Boba Fett. She has this mystique about her. You don't know much about her. She didn't have many lines. But you could see her as a badass. And she fell into a pit at the end by a guy getting lucky. My top? You mean my shirt? Thanks. It's getting a little small. It's been washed a few times, so I might have to get another one. You think Luke's downfall could have been explained better? It could have done, but at the same time, it left a lot to our own imaginations, to put our own headcanon in. Like, he had everything, he lost everything. I don't think many humans that have been through that situation would question that. I know I've been there a couple times, and maybe that's why Luke's relatable for me, because I can connect to that kind of scenario. Yeah, I'm excited for the last three episodes as well, Mark. I don't want them to hurry up and get here, but at the same time, I do. Um, and honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping the Book of Boba Fett would help my channel out, because I've been doing, and you're gonna listen to me bitch for just a moment. So I've been doing Boba Fett content since I started this channel. It hasn't been all Boba Fett since the beginning, but I have been doing Boba Fett content since the beginning, 2 years ago or something. And I thought, I was like, wow, they're making a Book of Boba Fett show. That's awesome. Maybe it'll help my channel out. One of those. Not saying I'm doing it to boost my channel up, but I just love Boba Fett. He's my favorite character, so I do a lot of stuff on there. And what bugs me is that the other channels were like, Boba Fett's dead, leave it alone. And that's what they did. Now, if you go to all the other big channels, they're all producing Boba Fett content, one way or another, whether they're hating on it, whether they're liking it, whatever. They're even changing their banners to have Boba Fett as them on their screen and all this. And so they're getting all the views. They're absorbing all the views from the Book of Boba Fett stuff, and I'm, again, left in the dust. And that's fine. I have a great core audience. I love you guys. I love everything you guys put into this channel. It makes me so happy. So, I just, it just kind of irks me that before they're all saying Boba Fett's dead, leave it alone. There's no more Boba Fett. There's never going to be another Boba Fett. And, I've been dedicated to this character for, God, since 1980. Yeah, absolutely, Mark. They're just trying to get views, and it's working. And good for them. Good for them. Get your views. Get your views. Your 3 million or 700,000 subscribers or whatever the heck you guys have. It's hard for you to get views doing anything else, right? I mean, I got 5,000 subscribers. It's hard for me to get views. Yeah, and they said it a lot, Mark. I mean, ever since the feet showed up in the Mandalorian season one, the gunslinger episode, I said, that's Boba Fett. I heard the sounds and the spurs and the beeping. I said, that's Boba Fett. Made videos about it. That's Boba Fett. Made blogs about it on my website. That's Boba Fett. And I got comments, so many comments. No, Boba Fett's dead. That's not Boba Fett. That's Moff Gideon. Boba Fett died in the Sarlacc. End of story. No, he didn't. Read Legends material. They're bringing him back. That's Boba Fett. I was right. When he turned around after watching Mando speed away with his armor, I said, it's Boba Fett. Boba Fett's back. Told you Boba Fett's back. And people were like, no, that could be any number of clone. No, that's Boba Fett. Why would he care about Mando with the armor if it was another clone? And clones would be in their 80s. That's stupid. Anyways, I feel like I'm just spending a lot of time bitching. I need to stop. I get bored a lot now. I don't really have a normal job, so I've been spending about 6 to 8 hours on my channel, not just making videos, but making new thumbnails to update old videos and new titles and new banner art and trying to up my game a little bit. But this downtime's really had me thinking, really messing with my own psyche, because I'm used to being a worker. I'm used to being hands-on, jumping in, getting the work done. And now I don't have that. Hey, Cutting Force Lawn Services. Good to see you. Hey, I really appreciate that. I do. I don't know if I'm the best. I just try to stay true to myself and what I believe. And a lot of times I get called a shill or a defender or something like that. And I'm not. I don't focus on the negative stuff that Star Wars produces. I try not to. I mean, yeah, once in a while I'll put up a meme, these scooters, these Vespas, most Vespa or whatever. But that's just to be funny. It's not to criticize or dog it or be negative. Let me see. Yeah, I heard about that, Brick. I think it was Ward that told me about it. That doesn't make sense to me because with him being a traveling man, he needs cargo space. He needs a rack. If you don't know what that is, it's a bed. He needs toiletries, and sitting in the cockpit of an N1 doesn't really bode well with his lifestyle. Maybe he's just using it as a side transport until he finds something better, and hopefully that's Dengar's ship or something like that. Let's bring something familiar in. Hey, actually, good job, Don. We said the same thing at the same time. Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. I'm not a shill. I don't work for Disney. I don't get any kickbacks from Disney. I don't even get noticed by Disney or Lucasfilm or anybody else. I do it because I like doing it. And I like Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I mean, even the shows that I don't like, let's say Caravan of Courage, I could probably go back and watch it and find something positive to talk about of it, even though I may not like the whole movie. I could probably find something. Like seeing Wicked again was wicked fun, you know? He was wicked smart. Um, what's a shill? It's somebody that takes a brand that isn't their own and advertises for it and just all on board with it, everything they do, and this brand is the best ever, and all that. And I don't think, and I'm not that, I don't think Disney's the best brand ever. I love Disney. I love going to Disney World. I love a lot of the stuff they do, a lot of the stuff I do not like, but I don't focus on the stuff I don't like. I focus on the stuff I do like, and that makes me look like a shill. Because people just want to see negativity out of me, and I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I guess I just need to get my ass a job so I can quit focusing on what other people are doing. Because really, who cares what they're doing, honestly? I just don't like that the negative haters are the loud minority. I think the positive lovers, yeah, I said that, should be the loud majority and shut these people up. If you have criticisms, that's great. I love criticisms. I love criticisms of myself, my channel. Notice my camera angle is farther back because somebody gave me some great feedback saying my giant face is all over this tiny screen. So I moved it back. Now y'all can see more of the grandeur that is the Star Wars Fanatic basement. And I love it. I love my basement. Right. Absolutely, John. Thank you for putting it in a better way than I did. But, I mean, I'd like the... Okay, criticism's great. Let me word this the way I worded it to somebody on Facebook the other day. I encourage criticism. Criticism makes art better. It makes an artist strive to be better. It's called feedback. And it helps them strive to do more great content. Not that their content was subpar before, but this could elevate it, put them at the next level. Hate is what gets an artist to stop making art. I know this because I'm an artist, and I've known a lot of artists, and I know these artists quit doing what they were doing because of hate, because of overwhelming hate, constant hate, and it makes you feel like I'm not doing anything right. Why continue doing it? And that's why George Lucas quit. That's why George Lucas stopped making Star Wars content, left the Clone Wars up to Dave Filoni, and then sold the entire franchise to Disney. With, I'm sure there was a stipulation in there, you keep Dave Filoni, he knows about Star Wars, I taught him. Really don't want Boba to give Mando a ship? Why is that? I wouldn't mind. Right, critique versus criticism. And yes, hate leads to anger. But that's why George Lucas quit. And Disney will do the same thing. They will stop making content if they keep getting hated on. And the people we are loving making that content are individuals. They're Jon Favreau, they're Dave Filoni, they're Robert Rodriguez, Bryce Dallas Howard. I forget who's doing the Ahsoka series and the Kenobi series, but they're individuals. Yes, they get paid by these companies, but if they get hated on for what they're doing in these shows, they're not going to come back to Star Wars. And what we're going to be left with are these subpar B-rated people making Star Wars content. And once we run out of that, Disney, they'll hold on to Star Wars for a little bit until they see it's non-viable for them anymore. They'll sell the company to somebody smaller, let's say Warner Brothers. And we know the difference between Marvel and DC. So, not that DC's bad, it's just Marvel's up a little bit higher on a level. Right, and that's what I tell them as well, Don. I tell them, if you could do so much better, create your own content, create your own channel with your own stories, or your own blog with your own fan fictions, or write Lucasfilm and tell them, look, I don't like you, I don't like what you're doing, I think you're stupid. See how far that gets you. You're not going to get a creative job with Lucasfilm, I'll tell you that, but at least you're getting your voice out there. And I'm missing a lot of comments. DR, I'm not believing that Knights of Ren trailer leak. Yeah, I'm just not, because nobody's came out and said anything about it. And usually when there's a new show happening, if somebody leaks it, they'll say no comment. They won't say no, there's no show coming. And they haven't said anything. Yeah, absolutely, Blaze Cap. And that's where Star Wars will go. Not saying them particularly, but Disney will get tired of making stuff if people just keep hating on it. Stop hating on it. I'm not saying love it. I'm saying use the proper channels to criticize it. Use the proper channels to critique it. Use the proper channels to make this art better. If you don't like the way it's going, make it better. There are things in the original trilogy that I can't stand. I don't want to voice those absolutely, but dialogue, let's say that's one of them. But that's Star Wars. So I just leave it alone. There's something about every Star Wars project that somebody's going to not like. Cool, critique it. Let it be known. But don't hate on people just because they don't agree with you. I don't hate on anybody that doesn't agree with me. My headcanon is my own. And that's where I keep it. Now, I keep it on the channel too, but it's because I love talking about Star Wars. Yeah, it was a really good channel or trailer, Blaze Cap. I loved seeing it, and I would love to see a Knights of Ren show at least, or comic, but I don't want to see them develop in the Kira crap. And I'm sorry I called it crap, because that's one part of Star Wars I'm not really gelling with. I'm not really getting into the Kira stuff, the Crimson Dawn thing. I think it's been overdone. I think they should have continued that with a Solo 2 or in the Lando series or something like that. They shouldn't have to combine it into everything that's Star Wars now, because it's in everything Star Wars. It's not saying it's a bad story. It's a great story. I just think it's, I don't know how to put it. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not saying I won't watch it and I won't find positives about it. Bo-Katan is so annoying. But I love Bo-Katan. She's another human character that you can see has human qualities, not this OP bitch that just gets away with everything. Speaking of, that's one of the things in the original trilogy I didn't like. The plot armor for the main characters. Jesus Christ, they ran through an entire Death Star with millions of stormtroopers shooting at them. Not one hit lands an ankle or anything. That's plot armor. And then they tried to play it off as, well, the Force was with them. Okay, I get that. The Force is with them. That works for my headcanon too, but I don't know. People say God be with you in our own life, and they still get shot. Hey, Borkle, good to see you. We just have to be patient. There's a new sheriff in town at Disney, and she's not into the status quo of the previous sheriff. Absolutely, John, and that's one thing I was talking about. People are saying that Disney Star Wars is woke. I don't know if I've got the interpretation of that wrong, but to me that sounds like some racist, sexist shit. that having a strong woman character is woke. I'm sorry, she's not a damsel in distress that needs rescuing every 5 minutes. Just get over it. There's females out here in our own world that are strong females. We have doctors and military officers and pilots, and we have strong females in our own world. Why can't we have them in Star Wars? Look, here's what I'm going to tell these people that keep calling Star Wars woke. You're racist and you're sexist and probably ageist. Get out the mama's basement, get outside, get you some vitamin D from the sun, enjoy life. You're spending way too much time focusing on this crap. Yes, it was, John. It was his plan. And I know that. I just don't know if every single stormtrooper in the army on the Death Star knew that as well. Yeah, it's been confirmed as Beskar since the comics. And you could be right, Robin, but at the time, in 1977, when Star Wars came out, I was 4.5 years old. I was almost five. Um, I didn't understand stuff like that. And it just made me wonder, why aren't they getting shot? Yeah, absolutely, Sydney. Um, the damsel in distress. And that's one thing I like about the Grimm's fairy tales. And I read them in their original form once in a while. Because the damsels in distress sometimes didn't live. I mean, some of those stories, they're just that. They're grim. That's where the word grim came from. And what a waste of a word. 2 years ago, woke. Yes, it does. It has a positive meaning, Dawn. It means that you are aware of social injustice, that you are aware of racism and sexism and ageism, and you're trying to make it better. You're trying to change mindsets. And now woke has become something negative that is now a racist and sexist word. That's just odd to me. Yeah, me too, John. Because, I mean, uh, if you ask me between stormtroopers and clones, which ones I like more, I like the stormtroopers. That's because I was born in that era, and stormtroopers were this ominous army of faceless people. They never took their helmets off. You never knew they were even people under there. Where clones, their helmets are off all the time. They're talking about their personal feelings and all that. Not that clones are bad, they're just different. And I like stormtroopers more. Well, actually, Zlatan, good to see you, by the way. Leia got hit by a stormtrooper, and so did Chewie. So Chewie got hit in the sequels. And I was like, finally, somebody got hit by a stormtrooper. I was precarious. And just trying to go through your Luciano. Good to see you. I read a theory that the stormtroopers could hit just fine. They were to make it look good so they could get Han, Leia, and Luke to lead them to the Rebel base. Absolutely, and that's how the Empire showed up at Yavin 4. The clones who didn't remove their helmets are usually the bad guy clones. Yeah, they are. They are. They're the faceless clones that turned real quick. I don't think we could have a whole Stormtrooper series either that didn't show Stormtrooper faces. And that's another thing that bugs me about critics of the book of Boba Fett. They're saying Boba takes off his helmet too much. Well, yeah, there's an actor under there that wants his face seen too. They hired that actor to put on the armor for a reason. That actor should show his face. Django showed his face most of Attack of the Clones. Nobody had a problem with that. And it was the same actor. And I think Tamir Morrison is doing a bang up job as Boba Fett. He's keeping his words as Boba Fett would be. see. I'm missing something on yours, Desmond. Y'all are going way fast. I'm having a hard time keeping up. And also, guys, just to let you know, I have been making some member content. So if you want to join as a member, please go ahead and do so. I've been doing some member stuff on this and on my Patreon. Yeah, Desmond, I can see that criticism and I understand it, but at the same time, originally in the original trilogy, we only got 6 minutes and 32 seconds of Boba Fett. We saw 6 minutes and 32 seconds of his entire life up to that point. In the comics, yes, we see a glimpse of him for, maybe a week period where he doesn't take off his helmet. But that's not saying he doesn't take off his helmet all the time. It's like the old criticism Michael Moore had of George Bush. I had a lot of criticisms of George Bush, but one of them was that Michael Moore took a video of George Bush playing golf and said that's all he does. Obviously, it wasn't all he did. So you can't just take a snippet of somebody's life and say that's their character for the rest of their life. Also, Boba Fett admitted that he's changed, that he's different now, that he's not buying into the whole bounty hunting thing and working for bad people. Brick Maniac, yes, there should be a join button down by the subscribe on my main channel or on this video. I don't know. I also have a link in descriptions. You can probably copy and paste the link. Yeah, Desmond, I love Tamir Morrison. For a guy that can probably whoop my ass 30 times over, he seems like he's just a real nice, funny, lovable guy. Since Cinematic Captures Film Contest, so many amazing Star Wars fan films have kept coming out. Absolutely, I love the fan fictions. From most people, the Darth Maul one, I love that one. The Sith Apprentice video, I love that one. Maybe we will see a stormtrooper in Kenobi fall in the Sarlacc to connect with the Book of Boba. Hey, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Because, people are complaining there shouldn't be a stormtrooper in there. He wasn't in the battle over the Sarlacc. Yeah, but Sarlaccs keep their victims alive for 1,000 years. That guy could have been in there for 10 years, and nobody knew it. Yes, DR. Thank you. Yeah, I'd love to meet Tamira Morrison. I got to meet Timothy Zahn not too long ago. The guy that played the original Gamorrean guard on Jabba's barge, the Katana. I met him. I've got to meet so many cool people from Star Wars, and one day I'd just like them to put me in as a stormtrooper or something, but I'm way too tall to be a stormtrooper. Maybe I could be a Trandoshan. They're pretty lanky. Yeah, John, and actually, when you think about it, these guys that are Mr. Universe and all that stuff, Mr. Weightlifter and stuff, they're not as healthy as they look. That triangle shape that people are going for is very unhealthy for your core. Your core needs to be thick to support all that up top, and you need it. Like the guys in Scotland that do the Highland Games, the tough guy or the strongman competitions. Look at them. Everybody can say they're fat. They're fat. They're not. That's meat that's protecting their core, and that's just what Boba Fett is. Maybe the Sarlacc fed him well. He is a little thicker than he was in Return of the Jedi, but how different are we going to look when we come out of a Sarlacc? Never see Boba referenced fully as a clone of Jango, besides that one time. Yeah. I got a little bit of a core here too myself. You can't see it because I cut that part off in the video. Yeah, and those guys do take steroids to get that pumped and everything. Arnold Schwarzenegger, big one that admitted it, and I think Dwayne the Rock Johnson as well. Yeah, he told me what it was like to play the Gamorrean guard, Arcflow. He said that, he got to get sliced up by Luke Skywalker. What an honor that was. He said it was really cool. Um, all right, Robin, I'll see you. Thank you for joining. Yeah, all the porridge we eat. Yeah. But guys, it is time for me to go. I'm sorry to say that, and I hate to do it, but I do have some stuff I have to do today. I have to make a run out to the stores and whatnot, and I have some stuff to do in the garage and other things. So I appreciate you guys joining me. If you're not a member, go ahead and become a member if you can afford it. If you can't, I understand. I am creating new member content and Patreon content. Um, both links are in my banner, I believe, on my main channel page. And I really appreciate you guys. Um, I really do. Every one of you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank